This is the last attempt for today. um, all right. Anyway, some mistakes happened. I've learned a lot about how my camera works, and that's why I did this test stream. Right, third time's the charm. Hopefully. I'm just not gonna show y'all the final piece until the very end of the stream when I'm just like willing to let everything go and just say, okay, we're done. Right. Um, and what I'm learning too is I may need to get a backup camera, and which is fine because I there was one that I looked at that was kind of like a super cheapo camera, but like good quality and should work as like my what do they call that? And what do they call that in cinema? The second I don't know, the second director of photography. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna turn off tracking here because I just want. All right, please work with me. Didn't work with me last time. Anyway, this is where we are, right? I'm going to finish this off because I want to commit to what I started. And something that I'm also going to do is I'm going to actually add more gray because I just don't feel like there was enough. It's like cowbell or something. You know, and if anybody ends up showing up in the chat, great. But like, sadly, I think I've lost Jess and Rainbow Cat because of, I mean, not like they didn't, but I mean, like, you know, literally, like, I was gone. The stream was gone. And they're probably busy doing other things, like living life, which is what we're all interested in doing. Okay. So, where we previously left off, we're going to do this correctly this time. I want to apply a shade, right? And like so. This will take a little bit of time. But it looks, hopefully this is not too dark. A concern I'm suddenly having as I'm applying it is, you know, it's going to look too much like the quill color. I think there are ways to get around that. Once again, this is where the tissue paper comes in handy because you can just blot it ever so much. I don't want to over blot it. Okay. I think, you know, something I'm learning about myself while doing the stream has a lot to do with my own work in general is if I commit to something, I tend to try and go as all in as I can. And I could have stopped, you know, after the camera shut off and everything went wrong and all that stuff. I could have. But then I wouldn't learn, right? And the only way I feel like, I mean, the only way I can learn, I don't know, not everybody learns the same way, but the only way that I learn is by making mistakes and like having things go awry and all that stuff. It helps me figure out, okay, what are the what are the flaws in my setup, right? Because, you know, the goal is ultimately one day to have like a more professionally done stream, but the quote unquote professionally done. Um, that's not necessarily like putting strong rabbit ears around professional here. But the idea is I do want to do this in a way where it's like beginning to end stream with no hiccups, right? That's maybe that's a big ask. I don't know. Maybe that's a bigger ask than I realize. I do know that this will be a much easier process when I'm doing like some digital work because, had I been working on digital work, would not have been a big deal if the camera went out. Although I'm pretty sure that's what ended the stream. So I don't know. Maybe this is where my ignorance is coming into full play here. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of adding shade kind of in a way to embellish, support the quills on this character. And I think that looks good. And this tail, add some shading there, although I need to dilute this color. It's a little too strong. Like I said earlier, I don't want it to look too much like the color of the quills. I want it to retain, let me show you what I'm doing, some of its own color. All right. Like so. But yeah, I doubt if Jess sees this, because the last comment she left was about how, oh, gray, what a controversial color choice for shading. And yeah, it's not even that much of a gray. It's really more of a really dark blue that I ended up using, which, works with the rest of the colors being used. So, another issue popping up. I think what I'm going to do here, try and make these shadows sort of work in a more shadowy way. That's what I was just working on right there. Probably, honestly, I might drop a shade on the shoulder. Work on the horns here a little bit. All right. I think, I mean, at this point, all I want to do, I feel like that's done. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go in here and just do a little touch up. I think that might be it. I keep saying that, but then I'm like, oh, well, I could do this, I could do that. There's all these little areas where you can touch things up a little bit. Like so. All right. I don't like that right there. There's a little bit of discoloration that I'm not super into. I feel like I have to accept it because that says, I mean, at this point, there's not really a lot else I can do. There is one more thing I am going to do, though, since I am going to be cleaning up. Hey, Jess. Yes, his eyes are, well, now that you bring that up, yellow wouldn't be too bad. Kind of like that idea. All right. So I need fresh water. Because if this water is just like, look at that. It's just, that's going to get all up in the yellow. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion, Jess. I like it a lot. I think that this will work. There's kind of a lot of other gunk. Oh no, that's not going to work at all. Nope, that's not going to work. All right, I need actual yellow and not just like what's left at the bottom of the palette. All right, try that again. But I do want it to be a pretty light yellow, I think. Let's see. We'll do test. Don't always do it. Ew. I don't like that at all. I need it just really needs to be diluted down a lot, I think. It's still coming off kind of brownish. I might try over here. Instead. It's an intense yellow. making a huge mess. All right, let's see. That could work. All right, let's go. Thanks for hanging out with me through all the hiccups, Jess. I appreciate it. This has felt like a successful testing of my streaming system. And what I'm learning from this is it might be useful to have a backup camera. Just in case. Because I think in the long run, what I want to do is work through OBS, which is sort of like a streaming management system, so that I can kind of plug and play some stuff and have some backup precautions. I also need to just like do a little bit of research and see if there's anything online about like, okay, what happens when your camera cuts out, you know? Is there any way to like keep the stream going and save the stream? But maybe that's not a thing available on YouTube. All right. I am gonna hold on. Yellow was a good call, Jess. I appreciate it. Does help tie them together. All right. So there is one more thing I'm going to do. Jess says, I'm at work doing boring paperwork. I enjoyed it. Well, Godspeed on your boring paperwork. I hope it gets finished soon enough for you. All right. Where is it? Where did I put? Oh, there it is. All right. So my final secret weapon is gel pen. This one's just called Jelly Roll. This is another Japanese product. For some reason, Hobby Lobby carries a lot of really nice Japanese products. So basically, what I'll use this gel pen for is just like cleaning up some spots. There were a couple areas where the paint went outside the lines, and also like just kind of cleaning up some of the color edges. So it's super useful for that. Really like this. I've used it a lot for just like cleaning up black and white line art in the past, especially when I used to do my own hand drawn lettering. Oh, what a nightmare that was! But this really helped me out a lot. There's not that many areas I need to clean up, but there are a couple. Like right here. And, I'll probably do multiple passes on some of these areas while I clean up. And I might have to go back over with a pen on that line art. All right. I'm just looking over. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to take the tape off because at this point it's pretty much all dried. Because I want to turn the paper. Oh, gel pens? Yeah, they have gotten a lot more expensive. I I bought a pack about a year ago, and I don't use it enough that I've like really gone through it that fast so far, and they seem to last a decent amount of time. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to work. Something doesn't want to work. There we go. Uh, just looking over it. Oh, that was a spot I wanted to clean up a little bit. Sorry, I was just doing a line right here, and then down here. Just a little cleanup. There's another spot. He does have a name. So I'll just. The idea was I did 7 different, basically dragon pictures, and they're all like, what is that word? Like anagram or whatever. It's like I took dragon and I just like rearranged the letters for each one. So like one's Dargon, one is like Norgad. This one is no, not Norgad, Nargod. This one is, I think this one's Orgnad. Um, one is going to be Gordon. That one's my favorite because a lot of the dragons like look really silly, and so I was like, okay, what if I did one that is like one that looks like vaguely more threatening, and call him Gordon. So it's Dargon, Ragdon, Nargod, Orgnad, which is this one. This one's Norgad. What are the other ones? I have it written down over here, actually. Gordon, Drogon. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So I'm probably going to stream some other ones in the future for the other dragons because they're very fun and they're very goofy. And all right, just a little more cleanup. I think that's done. Let's. That's Orgnad. Orgnad the Hedgehog. Jess, are they siblings with uncreative parents? Yes. I'm the uncreative parent, it turns out. So yeah, that's Orgnad. That is my completed watercolor sketch for today. And I will do this again in the near future. Thanks for hanging out, everybody who hung out in the previous stream, this stream. I want to make this a regular feature of this channel because it will allow me to talk about my creative process, sort of help along those who are interested in working in more, analog materials or just like to see that process in action. I will also be doing this with digital stuff as well. I'm still on my little break with Legend of Redneck, but I will be. Just the setup worked well except for the one hiccup. It did work well except for the one hiccup, and I want to optimize the setup better for the future. So so when I do start doing some digital stuff, and I might stream myself working on some pages of the Legend of Redneck. Um, I'll have it set up such that, you have a screen that is me, and then the screen of like my workstation. So I'll have a multi-screen setup. I have that pretty much set up, and I think that's actually going to be a lot easier than this. This is oddly enough the harder setup, um, in which is why I think if I get another camera, that might be easier. I'm also getting a setup rigged for using my phone. Um, the whatever you call it, the tripod, what have you, I ordered and has been shipped to me, so it should be arriving pretty soon. By the way, maybe we can try and y'all can look at my face. Um, will this activate Fredward? It will. Thank you. Um, thank you for working right now, Fredward. Anyway, where was I? So anyway, yeah, it'll be I think ultimately it'll be a multi-camera setup. In as much as I'm complaining and doing all this like test stream stuff, it is an interesting process. I'm learning a lot from it. I have not been looking forward to this process at all for reasons that I'm discovering. Just Fredward is a friendly ghost. Fredward is a friendly ghost, but also a little bit mischievous. I want to have this sort of. I'm enjoying the process of learning this stuff. The reason why I haven't done this sooner is because I have been dreading just the mistake making process. So like I appreciate those of y'all who hung out and have hung out despite the mistakes, because that's very encouraging for me, right? It helps me feel a little bit like, oh, okay, like it's not so bad. It's not so bad to make mistakes and mess up. And that is honestly like what makes the creative process so wonderful for me is like I think creativity is one of those few areas in life where we can just totally screw up and it's not going to be the end of the world, right? You can start over, or as I was showing, during the process of doing this watercolor, um, you can work around it, and sometimes even the mistakes themselves can be incorporated into the artwork. And that got that became thematic within the scope of the stream as well. So anyway, that's something that I want to touch upon as a main theme of streaming, mostly to encourage myself to stick with it. Um, but also to encourage those of y'all out there who want to engage in creativity, want to engage in making art. It can be very discouraging, right? And there's a lot to get discouraged by. Anyway, those are things that we can talk about in the future. For now, I'll leave y'all with all those thoughts, and I hope y'all have a really great rest of your day. And we will talk again soon. All right. See y'all later. Bye. If I can hit the end stream button. All right. For real. Bye.